What's up, guys? Hopefully, everyone's doing well. We got a lot to talk about. This is our Thursday morning live stream. It's Thursday, May 28th, 10 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. Hopefully, everyone's doing well. Did you guys watch the State of Origin last night to all you Aussies? What a game. The Maroons. In America, we say maroon. In Australia, they say maroon. The Maroons jumped out to a 20 to nothing lead, and then the Blues stormed back. What a game. What a play by Teddy at the end, dude. But anyway, there's fights tonight. So shout out to the JSB Discord for reminding me that there's the road to UFC tonight. So our Discord isn't just boxing, it's all pro sports. We have an NRL channel, an AFL channel, MMA channel. Boxing is our bread and butter, you know that. But if you have the UFC Fight Pass, there's fights from I think China. Is that where they is it Shanghai? The road to UFC will start in about, I think, 8 hours. So Aussie time. So if you have UFC Fight Pass, maybe somebody will be streaming it in our chat. I put a little bit of cheeky action on it for the boys. But we're here to talk about boxing. I gave you, so right now check the Patreon and check the YouTube members only section. I think I'm good for the week. There's 8 tickets live. And they're not even giving me Dimitri Bivol fight. They're not even giving me all the other fights. So I kind of wanted to get all the tickets out there. There's 3 UFC tickets and 5 boxing tickets. I gave you a moonshot parlay today that pays plus 2,300. I want to leave this live stream open to you guys, our team, JSB Insiders. If you're not in our Discord, it's a couple bucks a month. That link is pinned right there. I'm going to leave it up on the screen. Or I'm going to leave it up pinned in the comment section. It's a couple bucks a month. You can join here on YouTube or join on Patreon. Whichever way you choose, you get access to our Discord. We just passed 510 JSB Insiders. We're growing. We're a well-researched community. We have a section in our chat where we do film study. We share notes. We added a new boxing fight AI analysis channel. A lot of you guys are well-versed on a lot of different angles. And we know as bettors, as professional bettors, guys who like to, take our research and bet on it, every angle matters. So check the Discord out. I'm going to remove the comment, and then I'm going to start taking your questions. I'll say what's up to everybody real quick. As you guys are tapping in, just like the video, King of Fitness, what's up, my guy? What's up, Johnny? Savage time on Saturday. Race it. Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. I'm excited for the fight. King of Fitness, you're my guy. I respect the hell out of you for standing on business. Nobody's going to make you flip-flop, will they? So King of Fitness all week. He's one of the only ones in our group who's been standing on business with Ray Ford. I like Shock Foster. I think it is not for me. This is one of those we get him a few times a year. You know what I mean? We get maybe if we're lucky 5 times a year. We get these sort of fights that mean more to the fan bases than just to the sport. And so during fight week, my videos usually get between like 1,000 and 2,000 views, which is fine. My Shock Foster versus Ray Ford breakdown had 2,000 views in like the first 6 hours. And that's always a sign that this is one of those fights that is broken through and it gets personal with the fan bases. We have another one of these fights coming up with Xander versus Duran. That's going to be the same thing. Xander versus Duran is going to be a really fun fight week. But this has been a fun fight week too. I got a lot of respect for Raymond Ford, man. You got to understand, guys, the longer you do this, the longer you're on my channel, my job is to tell you where I'm putting my money. Just because I'm putting my money on one guy doesn't mean I hate the other guy. And you guys know that. It's probably why our channel is constantly growing and you guys are here, is that we're able to break down fights and pick winners and losers without talking shit about the loser. I don't know if some channel, I'm sure there's some channels out there way more bigger than mine and popular than mine because they say outlandish things or they treat people a certain way. I'm never going to do that. I like Raymond Ford. I think it's boxing. I think Shock is a professor in there. You know what I mean? At this stage, what did he just turn 32? I think at this stage of his career, he's a master. He's el maestro, profesor el maestro, and I think he's going to teach Ray Ford some lessons, which is fine. Ray's only 27. When you look at Ray, and we've covered all of Ray's fights on the channel over the last 2 years. He's had 3 fights at 130 pounds. You can't say he looked great in any of those fights. All 3 went to the distance. He was supposed to stop Thomas Matisse. The Gunner Man, Cleveland, Ohio. We covered that fight. Matisse didn't want to punch with him, though. Thomas Matisse ran, we thought Matisse was going to fight way more aggressive, and that just goes to show you the respect Matisse had for Ford. We thought that was going to be a firefight. You got Savage versus the Gunner Man, and then all of a sudden you got Raymond Ford forcing Thomas Matisse into fighting a fight. Matisse fought Savage the way MJ fought anyway, and we were all kind of just like scratching our heads because we're like, Matisse, you fought your whole career to get to this. You got an option. You got a shot. At a high level against a really, really exciting former world champion, and you're gonna fight negatively. That tells you something about Ray Ford. So I get it. But then you watch the fight again just now, Abraham Nova. Abraham Nova fought Ford really tough. And how much of that, though, is Abraham Nova telling the boxing world, like, hey, don't throw me away? And I think a lot of that, Abraham Nova Ford, that said to me, like, Nova was probably reading social media comments. That's a metaphor. And he was like, I'm not done yet. You think I'm done? You think I'm going to come in here to roll over? And he fought Ray Ford tough. So 3 fights at 130, no stoppages, all decision victories. I understand Ford's fan base. They think he's going to come and bully Shock Foster. They think he's going to steamroll Shock Foster. I don't see that path to victory. So that's where I'm struggling with on the Raymond Ford side. I think Shock Foster puts on a master class of boxing. Slipknot, I messaged you on Patreon for the Discord invite. I wasn't sure if it was there. Oh, Slipknot, I'll send it right now. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the new JSB insiders. If you joined on YouTube or Patreon, do what Slipknot did. I used to post our link publicly under the paid section of YouTube, but then I realized not all of our friendly faces are in it for the same reason. There's a lot of guys out there's people out there, trolls, there's haters, there's certain people who do what I do who don't like the way I do my thing. So when I was doing that, we were getting people paying the subscription fee, but only to enter our Discord to cause trolling. And so the way I do it now is sign up, message me, and I'll send it to you right now. Sorry, it's winter in Sydney, and I was that little kid growing up in Northeast Ohio who was allergic to everything. So I'm allergic to dust, I'm allergic to grass, I'm allergic to penicillin, I'm allergic to bees, allergic to everything. When it gets winter here in Sydney, it rains a lot. And I live in like a national park almost. So it just messes my allergies up. So I apologize for that. So I'm going to check my messages right now, Slipknot on Patreon. And I got 4 of them. Okay, shout out. I'm glad is Emerson. Okay, I just sent 2 people. So if you message me on Discord today, I just sent you the link. Click that link that I sent you, whoever it is, whether it's Slipknot or someone else, and you got access to our Discord. We go full unit on the 8 tickets. I'm not going full unit on all 8. So right now good question, Al. I'm full unit on Shock on points. I'll check. If I went full unit on every ticket, my bankroll would be depleted. Yeah, strategy of betting. We spoke about this yesterday too. Understanding how to win on betting on boxing isn't just picking winners. It's having a strategy. It's having foundations of what your bankroll is, when to pull the trigger. Because think about this, guys. How often do we hear, damn, man, I should have went heavier on this? It's always, I should have went heavier on a win. It's never, damn, I shouldn't have went heavy on that one. That was a bad read. So it works both ways. It's always, I should have went heavier on a win, isn't it? Isn't that funny? So I got full unit on Kettle. I'm going full unit on Psycho Kettle. That's me backing myself. That's my underdog of the week. So right now, full unit on my underdog of the week, Psycho Kettle. And then full unit on Shock on points. Yeah, so 2 out of the 6. The other ones are sprinkling half units, quarter units. I did a half unit on the Moonball. I did a Moonball parlay. Moonshot, it's like a plus 2,200. Guys, here's something to think about. This is for all of you guys, no matter where you are in the evolution of your understanding of boxing, whether you're an OG, whether you're a sharp, whatever. You could always tell people who are faking the funk about watching tape or watching fighters. I was watching a content creator. I'm not going to put anyone on blast. And he was talking about the Charlie Edwards fight. And he was talking about how he watched the tape on Charlie Edwards and his opponent. And he couldn't pronounce his opponent's name. And the first thing I think about is like, if you watched any fighter's tape, you would have a good understanding of how to pronounce their name. So basically, you're telling the whole world you don't watch tape, you just lie about it. Anyway, you would know his name is Seiko Kettle. I'm gonna blow my nose off camera. Hold on. What do you think about Tank getting locked up again? He didn't get locked up. I know that Tank Davis was in Miami on a stream with Adrian Broner, which is a whole nother conversation. And I read an article that he broke his he wasn't allowed to leave Maryland. So if that means that the cops locked him up, I didn't see that. I know that TMZ Sports posted something that he had broken the rules of his bail, sort of thing. Gil, that was on my moonshot. Shout out to the chat. I think my book still has it though. This was a JSB Insider special too. This prop, shout out to Gil. He's one of our Discord moderators. Guys, if you're in our Discord and you ever have any issues with trolls, if you have issues with anything, message Gil. So I felt like this fight, it's still up. Damn, he pulled out. Okay, so maybe it was a good thing. So this fight's off. This is on one of my moonshot parlays. I was playing a stoppage. I guess the fight's off. That sucks. We'll see if my book. Hopefully, my book just voids the fight. Guys, if you followed my moonshot parlay, the case and fight is off. I'm going to follow that up with the 2 on there. So the other 2, I'm still going to play that ticket. So James Osborne on points at plus 145, I'm playing. And Juarez at plus 250. We caught, guys, 3 days ago, like we do, if you're new to the channel, after a fight weekend ends, we do our recap. And then the very next live stream, we go over what's in front of us for the following week. And then we'll do like a rundown of all the fights. And then I'll tell you guys to make a list of fights that I think have live underdogs. One of the very first fights that I liked this week was Juarez versus Valle. And so I'm playing it now. But I'm playing it as part of that moonshot parlay. Juarez is a plus 250. She's not my dog of the week, but she's a dog and she's on a parlay with good odds. So just so you know, that's the only play I'm taking with Juarez, though. My dog of the week is Seiko Kettle. I'm biased to Ray Savage and Boost. Yeah, this happens. Yeah, he seems like a solid dude. Most fighters are good guys. This is what I tell everybody. I remember having a chat with my aunt once, and my aunt and uncle are, they're my whole family are products of immigrants, right? So my mother's whole family came from Italy, Rome, so north of Rome, and a region of Italy called Tuscany. So my Italian family is all shorter, blonde hair, green eyes Italians. You know what I mean? And so they're very when they came over to America, there's a lot of Tuscany, Abruzzi Italians in Youngstown, Ohio. They keep to themselves, Roman Catholic, and I'm like 20, and she's talking to me. My aunt and uncle were talking to me about how fighters are just they're bullies and they're all. And I was like, what are you? How many fighters have you met? How many boxers, professional boxers, have you met in real life? They're like none. And I'm like, if you know anybody who trains for a living, whether they're a martial artist, jiu-jitsu, I don't know many jiu-jitsu players, but I know a lot of MMA fighters and boxers. I'll just stick to that. Some of the most humble guys you'll ever meet, guys and girls, because they know what it's like to get beat up every day. If you're at the highest level in combat sports, you're training with guys or training with girls who are challenging you in positions every day that you're not. And if you're good, you're not winning every position. You know what it's like to get beat up. That causes a person to be very humble. So I assume Ray Savage is a very nice dude. I've never really met an asshole fighter, not in person. And I've been interviewing fighters for over a decade. I've interviewed retired over a decade, all spectrums, world champions, Hall of Famers, prospects, contenders, and I still do. It's the best sport on earth, boxing, man. Yo, you guys know I'm a Willibaldo Garcia fan. I don't know what those odds are. I don't know what those odds are yet. That fight's in a week. When that fight got signed, I think it got rescheduled. I was stoked about it. Maloney brothers, is this Andrew? He's trying to be a world champion again. Skilled, sharp. We've seen him before at the high level. Things don't always go his way. There's something, the last year and a half of running our Discord has really opened my eyes about the modern Mexican boxer. And dude, there's something about these guys who are like ultra durable. The conditioning side of things, the pace, the volume. And then a fighter could have, like a Mexican guy of this version, volume, pace, pressure, which then will lead to, like, if you're going up against a guy who's going to fade, which will then lead to a psychological advantage. I've won a lot of money recently betting on the Mexican fighters. So I don't know what the odds are yet. And it's kind of, I have a special place in my heart for Mexican fighters. So I don't know what the odds are yet. I haven't looked. Right. And you guys are like, what? He's Australian. I don't have any allegiance to anywhere. I'm a student of the game. I'm a citizen of the world. I've lived all over the world. Just because I live in Australia, you guys should know that I don't always side with Aussie fighters. I don't know who I'm going to pick with Liam Paro versus Lewis Crocker. I thought I was sold on Paro, but I just rewatched that David Poppo fight. And man, dude, Liam really, really struggled with David's size. And Lewis Crocker is going to be a big dude in there too. Definitely bigger than Paro. So there's some good fights coming up. Good fights coming up. You got to stand on business, baby. Ford will get the same beating as Fulton. I think so too, guys. I think so too. Ford will get the same beating as Fulton. The difference with I think Stephen Fulton knew at an early stage of that fight that he was getting outclassed. I think Shock is going to have to prove it to Ford, which means that Shock is going to have to convince Raymond Ford that he's better than him, which I think Ford might get beat worse. Ray looked better against Nova than Shock did. This fight is definitely a decision fight. You thought he looked good against Nova? Shock always fights with room for the opponent to win. I disagree either way, Kenny Ellis saying. I didn't think he looked good against Nova. Maybe I'm tripping. Bum equipment, what's good, Johnny? My concern is when Foster switched to southpaw versus Jakubov, his right jab looks half speed of his left. He's going to need all that speed. Yes. Bum equipment brings up a very valid point here. I tend to not like when fighters switch all the time. I blame it on Terence Crawford. How many fighters in the world could do what Crawford did in his career, switching from Southie to ortho and be successful? and blend it in. An example of this, because Crawford has so much success, a lot of these young fighters, and we see this in every generation, they want to emulate the guys they look up to. Which fighter didn't look up to Bud? So you see a lot of young guys. Floyd Schofield does it all the time for no reason. With Foster, though, with Shock, he's good everywhere. I 100% like Foster more from the orthodox stance, for sure. And when you watch the Yakubov fight, he was beating Yakubov pillar to post. He was up on all the scorecards. It looked to me he was trying to sit down on shots. I think he finally found a late knockdown late in the last round. So he doesn't play with his food. He does just enough. Why do some fighters, this is going to sound bad. Not everybody's a knockout artist, not everybody's a brute. So why do more? That's part of being an efficient boxer, having an efficient style. He doesn't really waste a lot. Like, if we're talking about wasting or a lack of an efficient style, Ford definitely has the more inefficient style. He wastes a lot more with his movement. He has like happy feet. He feints he feints and then won't punch. So I think a lot of Ford's inefficiencies with his style is just he's still growing into who he is. He doesn't really sit down on his power shots, and he does have that speed advantage. Ford decision knockout shock because he thinks shock. Ford decision knockout shock because he thinks shock got more pop. Oh, Coach Kenny. Footwork position will dictate this fight for Foster. I think timing too. I think it's going to timing. It's going to take. I mean, I expect after 3 rounds it could be 2-1. Could be 2-1 Ford, based off of optics, based off of pressure. You'd have to think when you got a pressure fighter who's going to be relying on his speed, he's going to be the guy who's not going to be worried. You got to think Foster's going to be the guy setting his counters up. So a counter boxer is going to take time to figure out space, distance, and timing. It's going to be a fun fight. It's going to be really interesting. For all we have a lot of true blue fight fans in here. This is a fun, exciting fight for all of the little idiosyncrasies of the game, the nuances of the sport, the foot feints, the head feints, the setups, the traps, the timing, punching over each other's jab, see who will counter over somebody's jab, who will take that risk and throw their first backhand. You know what I mean? All these little sort of things. Will Savage sit on any of his hooks? Has he been training that? People are like, oh, he's been training with Shakur. He's been training with Hitchens. I don't necessarily like that. I mean, I get it because these are 2 of the best fighters in the world and these are his boys. But why not go in with a puncher? I want to see Raymond Ford punch. One of my biggest beefs with Raymond Ford is that I'm a fan of his. Like, he has all of these like God-given gifts and strengths and the mindset's there. But like he frustrates the hell out of me. I think that he's boxing in the wrong style. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch my breakdown of Raymond Ford versus Thomas Matisse, it's on the channel. You can find it. I talked about this. I said one of the things I like with Raymond Ford is that early on in his career, 5-6 fights ago, he was really reluctant to sit down on any power shots. He was happy feet. And I felt like this was right before the Thomas Matisse fight. I felt like he was slowly doing it more and more. I think that he could be like, I think he has more power than his record suggests. It comes down to a willingness, though, to trust your power punches. The hand speed's ridiculous. I think we could see a guy who has much more than he's showing us, but how much of that is psychological? And if he hasn't figured that out yet at 27, have fun trying to figure that out against a technician like Shock Foster, who's in his absolute prime. So what I'm taking, a lot of this time, he frustrates the hell out of me. I'm sorry. I don't think that Raymond Ford is fighting in his preferred style for what his gifts are. I think that his style should be a bit different. This is a litmus test for Shakur. Yeah. Shock knows that. Pull up, boy. Your picks are shit. Thank you. And you still pay. We can't please everyone. But I appreciate you, pull up, boy. We got love for you. Azim is going to dominate. I think so too. I like Azim. The more tape I watched on Claggett, we talked about this, especially his last few fights. You see his style deteriorating. He's old. I mean, 20 years as a pro. That style is proud. It's a very proud style. It's a very determined style. Azim will be tested. I liked what I saw against Scobie. Scobie last second replacement. There was also the O'Shea, was it O'Shea O'Hari Davies fight? I think the mechanics, the politics of this fight is Azim versus Dalton Smith. This is what they want. Shout out to Ben Shalom and Boxer for re-signing Adam Azim. But this is the fight. This is the potential blockbuster on British soil is Adam Azim versus Dalton Smith. Will Steve Claggett pose an issue early? Yeah. And like I said, any pressure style with volume, it's gonna take a fighter to figure that out. Unless your name is Kiki Torres and you just run in on a guy and just get hit with an uppercut, you get knocked out cold because you don't set anything up and you don't use your jab and you don't respect heavyweight's power. So you trust just your style and you don't have the game plan to be patient. Then you just run in and get caught. I guess, I don't know. The boys are saying the fight's off. Bivol knockout. Let's see if I'm getting odds. Julius, I don't even have this on my books, bro. Yeah, we're not even getting Dimitri Bivol. We're getting a lot of fights, but not Dimitri Bivol. Yeah, I'm not getting that fight, brother. Maybe tomorrow? Yeah, Claggett, I think you're probably referring to his shoulder. He's had his shoulder for a long time. He had a knee injury a couple years ago. 36 years old and 140 pounds too. He's been that weight for like 2 decades. John Magano, salute. Let's go. Guys, we got 60 people in here. We're approaching a half hour. I'm going to stay on as long as you want. If you guys want me to bring up somebody's box rec, you want me to bring up the odds, you want to talk a little bit about anything, I'm here. Okay, under 10.5 Azim Claggett. Let's see it. Let me double check if I have plays on this fight. I think right now I have Adam Azim on the money line, I think. Do I have a play on? Yeah, I just have a sneaky half unit Adam Azim money line, part of a 4-legger right now. But let's check this under 10.5. See, this is going to be a point of contention in our chat all weekend because the books are flirting with us, dangling that plus 220 points. I mean, when you're looking at trends and patterns, you have a guy like Adam Azim. They also want to be Adam. Don't get it twisted, man. Adam Azim's camp want to say after this fight, well, Teofimo Lopez couldn't stop him. We did. They want to say that. That's another reason. The stoppage is at 63%. We'll be, Teo couldn't stop Claggett. You think Adam Azim is on Teofimo Lopez's level? I don't think so. Not yet. So plus 220 on points, but you said under 10.5. You guys always get that extra round. So we're only getting under 9.5 at $1.93. Is that what you're playing under? Would you play under 9.5? What's up, Andy? Luis Nunez versus anyone of this week versus Ford. Nunez might be future champion at 130. Are we getting Luis? Who's Luis is fighting? I think my book has Luis's fight. The twist. He just fought. He just fought this past weekend. I'm always hesitant with the Dominicans, mate. I got to be honest with you. Nothing. I love the DR, man. I used to go to the DR once a year with my boys. But some of these DR records, you know that, right? 23-0, 15 knockouts, 26 years old. The Sosa fight. Wasn't he supposed to fight recently? I thought he was supposed to fight on that Pro Box card recently. What's up, Trey? Appreciate you. Let's talk shock, one knockdown. Let's see what it looks like. Like, are you? Let's talk. Are you thinking sort of like Catterall versus Giasov sort of type knockdown early on, run onto something, catch him with a counter, using his aggression against him? I can see that. Wow. Oshaki Foster to win on points. Both fighters to be knocked down. Plus 2,800. Yippee-yi-yo, yippee-yi-yay. Let me bump that body, baby. Let me bump that body. Raymond Ford to be knocked down. Plus 260. Bro, I ain't mad at it. Bro, I ain't mad at it. To be knocked down. Plus 260. I mean, why not then just go shock to win on points? Both guys would be knocked down to plus 2,200. Foster money line, Azim knockout. Let's see it. Okay, let's see what the boys are giving out free game. Hopefully, y'all boys got your pens and papers. These are sharps here. Julius is a sniper. He's giving out free game. Send the invoices to Julius, Alabama, please. Let's see what Foster money line Azim knockout pay. I know that Azim knockout has to be nice and thick, nice and thick. Ooh, Azim knockout. Look at Frank. How is Frankie Rod still getting fights? I talked about this in our Discord. Stay away from Frankie Rod versus Cordova, by the way. Let's stick to business. Plus 165. Mate, I ain't mad at you. But dude, you don't. Damn, that plus 220 on points is tempting though. You know that plus 220. Is it a 10 or 12? Claggett versus Eam. Is that 10 or 12? What's up, Khalito? Anybody looking at Lorena fight? His odds are going down. I'm not betting the Lorena fight. Full transparency, brother. My boots are dug in. That's a rematch. That fight is in, I think, his opponent, Mena, his hometown this time. The odds are nice. What's your thoughts on Serrano's opponent? You think she has a good chance? No. Serrano's opponent, no chance of winning. I got Serrano by. I think Serrano's actually probably stops her. It's a 3-minute round. Her quality of opponents aren't that high. She's a bigger girl. Serrano's volume, pressure. Serrano hasn't had a knockout since 2024, I think. I think the question is, will Amanda win on points or will Amanda win by knockout? Will the fight go the distance or will the fight not go the distance? I think that those will probably be your money making options rather than trying to play the dog on that. Serrano's not losing. We got a super chat by Trey. Tell me why you said Ray Ford ain't look good at 130. So when I say he hasn't looked good at 130, all he's done is win. He's won every single fight at 130. He's won on points. Is there a way for us to look at other fights? There were a few of these fights. I'll pull it up. Where the props were he was going to stop the opponent. He was going to clearly blow his opponent out. When I'm seeing a guy moving up from 26 to 30 with as much potential as Raymond Ford, the hand speed, I already went on a little mini rant about it. He frustrates the shit out of me. I think he should be punching heavier. I think he should be stopping guys. So that's what I mean. But that's just me being a critical coach, looking at sort of his punching technique, how his feet are too happy, his style sometimes lacks efficiency, he wastes too much. And I think he's durable enough to be punching with some of these guys, and he's winning decisions. That's it. That's it. That's it. So call me whatever you want to call me. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the super chat. Okay. Loses that decision to Nick Ball. And then he goes up and fights Orlando Gonzalez. So he's 3-0 at 130. Unanimous decision, unanimous decision, unanimous decision. The Abraham Nova fight was extremely close. 96-94. And I think a lot of that had to do with Nova being super switched on. Nova fought really well that fight. Thomas Matisse, he won. Ford won every round. Granted, Matisse, it wasn't like Ford was playing with his food, but that fight, Matisse was running. Cut the ring off, Ford. Cut the ring off. Force him to fight you. That didn't happen. And then Gonzalez wins every round once again. So doesn't look good to me is basically me saying I'm not seeing his full potential. I want to see his footwork game well-rounded. I want to see his punch placement well-rounded. I want to see his efficiency well-rounded. I want to see him level up. If he's really that dude, he's going to get to show me. Because right now, I've relegated Raymond Ford to the category of fighter that he's going to have to show me. He's going to have to prove it to me. And until he proves it to me, I'm fading him. And I'm fading him in this fight because he hasn't proved it to me. So he's 3-0 at 130 with 3 decisions, but I haven't seen anything in his game that shows me he's elevating. That's all I mean by that. Great question, though, brother. Johnny, you ever had 2 dogs in a week you ever felt strongly about yet? Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of, back in December, I started implementing a new system of not putting multiple dogs on the same ticket, if that's kind of what you're saying. We hit multiple dogs all the time. It's just, if you're saying, why don't you put them all on the same ticket? Because I once got burned doing that, and I had nothing to show for. So my goal is to always teach strategy. If you like 2 dogs, the risk is super high that they both hit, but the return is super high. It depends on your bankroll. If you're betting $100, then put multiple dogs on your ticket. If you're betting $500 and one of those plus 300 hit, and the plus 250 doesn't hit, it's kind of like, dude, why'd I get greedy? You know what I mean? I could have just put the one on the other. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on your bankroll. If you're betting $10, put it all together. That's what you're trying to do. It just depends on your bankroll, depends on your unit of betting, all that good stuff. But we hit multiple dogs hit every single week. That one, the Zuffa, the first Zuffa card, we hit Julian Rodriguez at plus 590 on the same ticket as a plus 250. Beast mode, what's good? No, I put Julian Rodriguez on the same ticket as Gervonta Ennis' sparring partner right now. He wasn't sparring him now. Austin Deanda. So Austin Deanda is a West Virginia kid that, you know, is managed. You know, been in the gym for what, like 5-6 years now. Was undefeated. Been managed by my boy Tommy Raynone's boy, and you know, been sparring a lot of guys on the East Coast. And Deanda was a plus 600. So we put Deanda at plus 600 against Michelle, and we put J Rod. I had J Rod on 2 tickets. J Rod by himself, and then J Rod on that dog parlay. And it was like the odds were crazy. And obviously Deanda got starched by Michelle, but J Rod won. So I always try to teach good betting habits. You know, nothing's worse than hitting, and this is what I tell the boys in the Discord. Don't catch yourself betting on every single fight, especially with the UFC. How the UFC, when the fights are on, one fight ends, the other fight begins, and you're trying to hit on every fight and you're betting on every fight. That is a fool's-proof way of losing all of your money. Have boundaries. You want something to show for. You want that dog to hit. Put the dog on 1 ticket. Hit. Boom. Cash out. Also, if you're winning and it could pay a bill, whatever your living situation is, if you have a mortgage, if you have rent, if you have a car, if you don't have a car, if it could pay a bill and it's in your accounts, then deduct it, then withdraw it, and then pay that bill. And then over time, you'll get in the habit of having something to show for your winnings. It's not just, I'm just throwing money away and I win, but I never withdraw anything. And it's just this constant, it's like owning a swimming pool. The worst is, if you guys have ever never owned one, you'll know if you've never owned one, you might not understand this, but if you've owned a pool, you know what I mean. Owning a swimming pool is the worst investment a homeowner could make. It's just a money pit. You get nothing for it. It's always, you're just spending money on this pool, on this upkeep, on this upkeep. Sure, it's fun. It's a good leisure thing, recreational if you have kids, but it's a bad investment. So if you're not withdrawing your winnings, what are you doing it for? USA or Socceroos? Oh, World Cup. I don't have a team in it. I talked about this yesterday on the chat. My favorite World Cup. I watched the World Cup. I'm a soccer casual. My mom's family's from Italy. My dad was born in Czechoslovakia, Prague. The last team I cheered for was the Netherlands when they had Robin and Van Persie when they played Germany in the final. I like the Ivory Coast when they had Drogba. So I don't have a dog in the race. Boxing Wiz, I hate the nervousness closer to. I hate the nervousness closer to. Like fights? Oh yeah. I hate the nervousness the closer we get to fight night. I like Foster. Bro, it's because you care. It's because your research matters. It's because you put in work. It's because you love the sport. It's because you have passion for the game. It's because all of the nervousness is just like being a fighter that's nervous. It's just like being a parent that you know, you're getting your kid ready for something or a presentation, or they're getting ready for a game. Nerves are good in any situation. Nerves are good as long as you're channeling them properly. Over time, though, I say to my breakdowns, the chips will fall as they may. It's out of our control now. So the only thing we could do is dig our boots in, put the effort in, especially if you look, you're not going to get every single fight. Shit happens. Things go crazy. Judges' scorecards go crazy. So at the end of the day, if you lose a bet, but you know you watched and you're learning and you saw something, things just didn't go your way. Like I thought Bakary Samake beat the Albanian sniper. I'm sorry. I had to rewatch that fight. I thought Samaki won that fight, and it played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out. In terms of Samaki's power being too much, the Albanian sniper, Hadribej, being on his back foot the entire time, and the optics being very negative, Hadribej fighting a negative fight. And I said that Samaki would probably win like 8-4, 9-3. And it went exactly that. But the judges gave it to Hadribej. So even though I lost, and it was a bad weekend for me, I lost, and I'm still salty about that because I felt like Samaki won that goddamn fight. I know I saw what I thought I was going to see. I thought I was going to see that, and it went down the same way. So that's all we could do. We can't fight for him. You think opposition? You think is the opposition motivation? You think is the opposition motivation? I can't get the Conceição fight out of my head. Shaq tries to do just enough. That's what he does. It's what good boxers do, though. Good counter boxers will do enough to win rounds. They're frustrating sometimes. I thought he handled Conceição convincingly. That come on, dude. That first Conceição fight was insane. I thought Shock won 9-3. That was insane. Are we talking about the first fight? I don't measure a fighter's worth by their losses, though. I'm talking about right now where they are in their careers, where Ray is at 27 and Shock is at 32. We are looking at the pinnacle of Shock Foster. This is as good as he's going to get. And he's really damn good. And in a fight, you're never going to have to worry about Shock Foster questioning his game plan. He knows exactly how he's going to operate. He knows exactly how he's going to execute. He knows what he has to do. We've seen him go to a plan B before. Savage is still figuring out who he is. So timing, I think in 2 years, if this fight were to happen in 2 years, it might be different. You got to catch people at a certain time on the come up. The timing is right for Azim. Azim knockout Claggett, but I think so. Claggett looks sluggish to me. And Azim is sharp, and that body punching is nice. And we've seen Claggett, he looks sluggish. I think he's very susceptible to that liver shot. Major boxing betting, plus 400 fight to go the distance. MJ, are you getting that? So my only thing is don't expect the MJ we saw against Inoue to show up in this fight. And I was pissed at MJ in that fight. I don't know if you just got on the live stream boxing betting, but I brought this up earlier in the stream about Thomas Matisse having an opportunity when he fought Ford. And this is a guy with a high knockout to win ratio. He calls himself the Gunnerman, and he fights so negatively and forced Ford into this cat and mouse fight, which was boring for the fans. And I compared that performance, Matisse against Ford, to MJ versus Inoue. Dude, we knew about MJ for years, the True Blues. I was excited about that fight. And then you watch how MJ operated against Inoue. I mean, this is why Ramon Cardenas earned me as a fan. This is why Edward Vasquez getting knocked out against Rafa Espinoza earned me as a fan. Even though Cardenas was much more competitive with Inoue than Vasquez was with Rafa, at least both guys went in there fighting to their strengths, even if they knew that their strengths weren't going to be good enough to get the victory. With Cardenas, we saw him drop Inoue. And Inoue really had to answer some questions. But then Cardenas ended up getting stopped. And Vasquez fought bravely, but dude, this version of Rafa is just way too damn much for anybody at 126, I think. I wish we would have. MJ had an opportunity to do that, and he didn't. And Matisse had an opportunity to do that, and he didn't. I'd expect MJ in this fight to kind of do what we think he's going to do. Let me say, I don't think I'm getting props, though. Yeah, I'm not getting props on it. So, plus 400 for it to go the distance. I see it's a value play. It's a value play. How do you feel about this bet? I think I'm going to put 100 on it. This guy's fight has never been stopped. All right, if you're going to put $100 on it and you're still asking me questions, let's do our due diligence then. Is this can't be the same guy? Oh, my bad. This is Kurbanov. I was going to say, MJ's fighting a super welterweight? Holy shit. It's on the same card though, right? He's fighting Mosquito. 27-1. Venezuela, 27-1, 20 knockouts. He's a puncher. I mean, he's gonna be there to get hit. Let's take a little bit deeper look in who he's fought. This is where I'm always, guys. This is where I'm always hesitant. I talked about this last week when we got. Who was the fight? What I don't like about this, about not playing the stoppage, it was a Brit. We see this all the time with the Brits. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up. Shiraz, Usyk, Safar. Is that he fights Nestor Gonzalez, wins on points. He then fights a guy who's 3-23. Granted, he was coming off his only loss against Perilla. Maybe. I have to watch tape on it. I like where your head's at. 155. I don't know. I have to watch tape on it. I can't just give. It wasn't on my radar. The prop wasn't on my radar. Tomorrow on the live stream, if you're here, message me. My only concern: do you think Foster will be weight drained? He's a big 130. I don't think so. I think he has that stuff locked in. He seems very focused to me. Have you been watching the fight week stuff? He looks very switched on to me. Saying all the right things. Azim by points is 170. Teo couldn't knock him out. Teo's better than Azim. It's a couple years ago though. Definitely a different fighter though. Different optics too of the style of fighter. Highly unlikely he's been there his whole career, I believe. Yeah, great. I'm taking Woodard Jr. also this weekend as the undercard of Shock versus Ford. I see people asking a lot about that fight too. I'll know better tomorrow, guys. My book isn't even giving me Dimitri Bivol, which is frustrating to say the least. So tomorrow's live stream, hopefully I'm getting these fights. I know that, shout out to my boy Nick, Breaking Bad Boxing. He likes Ozzy Osbourne. I think Osbourne's on a British card. He's at $1.65. And then him and I both see eye to eye with Seiko Kettle. Seiko Kettle is fighting Charlie Edwards. So Seiko Kettle's my dog of the week. He won by knockout. Go to a knockout. Yeah, we're getting plus 220 for points for Azim now. This is what's crazy about the game we play, guys, is we not only are picking winners, we're picking outcomes. Life used to be a lot simpler when I first started the Discord. If you could see the evolution of my picks. I used to just be a money line guy, and then the deeper you get into this, you realize what value plays are. And whoever said it was stressful, man, I feel your pain, brother. Shit is stressful. It's 12, so it's a 12 rounder. Huh. I mean, he found a late stoppage late against Scobie. Oh, mate. We would stay at I'll show you real quick. We would stay in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, which is great, at a beach club. I think it was called. Look, my advice: if you got the money, if you spend a little bit more money in Dominican, you can live like a king. So it's all going to be because they don't want you leaving the resort. It's like if you guys have ever done the Caribbean, we've done. Even the Bahamas now. We went to Nassau 3 years ago. My girl and I. They don't even want you to leave the resort now. So everything is on the resort. The difference is your dollar will go much farther in the Dominican than it will go in the Bahamas. So I would pay the extra dollar in the DR to stay at the nicest one. I got sick my first day in the last time I was in the DR. I'm the type of dude where I travel. It's like I will eat like the locals do. Let me eat some local oxtail. Woo, boy! It was good while I was eating it, but I was sick as hell for 2 days. Can I add this to my leg? Kotoa had it. I got Haddon. I got Asakara. You're getting, I mean, whatever the odds are you're getting, I would separate. I don't know about Kotoa. It's just not on my radar. Ray 4 got a gift first Vasquez. And we all saw that was at 26. But then again, it's a couple years ago. Ray Ford frustrates me, guys. He frustrates me. It's crazy to think. I mean, he's already. I think he could be. I don't think he's fighting to his potential. I think he could be a lot better. Hey, E-Chan. Like it. Betting is like boxing. Hit and don't get hit. No. The Mosley Boachek card, I got I might have, but the only memory I have of Mosley Boachek is I got starched. Yeah, this was like 3 months ago. If we did, I think we all hit a couple dogs in our Discord. We were doing live betting. But Jesus Christ, Mosley looked good against and Boachek. Boachek has been on our fade list for 3 fights. And he just kept finding a way to win. The Michael Fox fight, the Butayev fight, and then this was finally the fight. So a lot of times too, with successful bettors in boxing, is the timing of knowing when to pull the trigger on fading a specific fighter. I think this Adam Azim Steve Claggett fight is a perfect example of this. I think somebody is going to stop Claggett before Claggett retires. He hasn't got stopped in many years. So I think this is a perfect example of like knowing when to pull the trigger on the fade. Just like whoever pulled the trigger on the Boachuk fade. We saw it coming, the Virgil fight. And even, the style doesn't age well. He gets hit a lot. You saw the fade coming. And this is what also makes our game and our sport. The sport is the best sport in the world. Our game, the betting game, betting on boxing, this is what makes our game really exciting and intriguing is because the longer you're around it, the more fights you see, the longer you watch a fighter's career, you can kind of see or pick up on any sort of deterioration or degradation to his style. Claggett has that sort of kind of style that degrades. And Azim is young and he's fresh at 24 and he's a brutal body puncher. He takes his time. He's sharp. Claggett will be in his face. Claggett will make him answer some questions. I think in those questions, though, is this the time to fade the knockout for Claggett? I think it might be. Junior Smile, I think Ford might get this issue. It's hard for me to see Raymond Ford outboxing Shock Foster. Raymond Ford doesn't have power. He doesn't punch. He doesn't have power punching. He doesn't have power. So other than that, I don't see him winning rounds. Outbox it. He might go up early, like I said, because it sometimes takes Foster. Foster might have a little bit of. Then again, man, there's a lot of vitriol on this matchup. I can see Shock jumping out aggressively. I like that knockdown prop. Whoever threw that knockdown prop out there, I think I'm going to play that knockdown prop. I could see that happening. I could see Shock totally jumping out early too. It's going to be interesting that first 2 rounds because Ray Ford's not a big puncher. He doesn't have pop. So it's not like Foster's going to have to sit there and be weary of one-punch knockout power. But he does like counterboxing. So he might sit there, which we've seen him do before, and figure out his range and timing and distance. But then again, he might say, hey, no, I'm putting belt to ass to this little homie, and I'm about to teach him a lesson. Where's Shakur at? He might do that too. So it's a fun, very intriguing matchup. Is Shock going to fight to win or not to lose? This is the question. What's good, Rebel? What's up, player? Nephew? I don't think everyone's on Foster. I don't think everyone's on Foster. It's just a lot of the boys in this chat are. I mean, go to Philly. A lot. Go to Greg Hackett's page. Them cats are talking like savages. Sean Porter. Them dudes are comparing Ray Savage to Sean Porter, which is crazy. Johnny obviously to a lesser degree than men's boxing, but Juarez has head movement and can switch. She ain't no bud, but I was surprised to tape. I have Juarez as a dog. I like Juarez to beat Valle. Even though Auntie Juarez is 39 and Yacasa Valley, look, we all know we love the ladies. And I know some of you boys don't trip. I ain't trying to call y'all out, but you know who I'm talking to. Some of you boys be betting on girls just because they look good. They got some more girls up in this house. And so Yacasa Valley might be ticking those boxes for you. But Auntie Juarez, boy, she's a champion. Plus 250, boy. I like Auntie Juarez. I sense a hunger for was for. Stand on business. What round do you think Boots and Zayas go to? Oh, we're going to have fun. Fight week's coming up, Andy. Fight week's coming up. I can't wait to break that fight down. Those are two of my favorites. Side note, I hate when James Harden said, James Harden, he's a bum. Yeah. Mike from Melbourne, what's up, baby? How you doing? Yeah. Harden. We had to bring up Cleveland, didn't we? Had to bring up Cleveland. An hour in, we got through it, but now we're talking about Cleveland. He's 27, yeah, 20 knockouts. Mate, you might be onto something, mate. Let me look into it. I do lives every day. Actually, if anything, thank you for bringing that to my radar. It wasn't on my radar, that fight. It's talking about the MJ matchup. Plus 400 to go the distance. Is MJ on upset alert? Is MJ faded? If that's the case, is there a route to victory? I think if Ford wins, it's on points. Got some DJ. Same. I took your Boss Christos. I took your play. I'm following. I took some of your bets, and then we have a new. Who's Slacko Jacko? If you're on the live, we got a dude in our chat named Sloppy Kaslopis or something, or Kerspaculating Clitoris, or Sloppy Guack Guack. Whoever this guy's name is. This dude in our. Never mind. Y'all crazy. Can you run down all the fights you like for the JSB and Insiders? Damn, you out here crazy? I've been on the chat for an hour now, brother. I'll do a quick rundown for you. Guys, like the video. An hour in. I hate having to say that. That's why I've never said it. But now you guys forced me to say it, and I had to say it. Like the video for me. Some of the boys in our Discord are on this fight. I'm not betting on. Guys, sometimes our greatest bets are the ones we don't make. We don't have to gamble on every single fight. I'm not betting on the Kevin Lorena fight. That's all I'm saying. But the boys in the chat, if you're betting on the Lorena fight, could you let Ichan know? Pierce O'Leary, Mark Chamberlain. I see that fight's coming up in a few months, right, Gil? Pierce O'Leary won us money on his last fight. My book has Serrano over 3.5 at 250. Foster plus 119. Angels going heavy. Yeah, I think Serrano. I like Serrano over 3.5. My concern with Seago Big is if it goes the distance, you have to factor in favoritism. Yeah, but look, you do. But that's out of our control. That's not gonna deviate my bet. I don't align that like a top rank A side. It's a bit different. And guys, we've seen in the UK though, judges. How about with Josh Taylor against, was it Taylor versus Echo Esimon? we don't always see hometown judges favorable. Or in Sam Gilly's hometown, not Sam Gilly, Nathan Heaney's hometown against Warburton. Warburton was from Wales. You had Nathan Heaney sell out his whole little, sell all those tickets. The UK judges, it's not always a lock with that sort of thing. My friends and my close mates, my brothers. I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. I mean, I went to a school from the time I was in, so from kindergarten to 8th grade, I went to a Catholic school. Yeah, it was a Catholic school, but I was one of two white kids in my class. We had 13 boys. Two white, me, Nick Bellino, and then all my other friends were black. Youngstown, Ohio in the 90s, man. Who do you have in the Desley Robinson fight? I like Desley. Look better versus no. I don't. You think so? I don't think so. I thought Abraham Nova. If anything, my take against Nova versus Savage. I thought Nova boxed really well. I didn't leave that fight thinking, wow, Raymond Ford looked great. I left that fight thinking, holy shit, Abraham Nova's not done. Abraham Nova fought really well. This better not be true. Ricardo, Sergio Martinez has been on record saying that he suffers from headaches at night due to his boxing career. He can't even bend his one hand. You out here wild. You love Miguel Cotto, man. I haven't seen you on the live in a while.